Hello, children and adults together. The subject of our class today is about ADHD, Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. We want to learn about this because a lot of you might be suffering from it. And not only you, children starting at the age of 3 all the way to 7, and mostly diagnosed at the age of 7, but also a lot of adults. And not just in the United States or the Western world, but it's increasing and spreading all over the world. So this is something very important to learn about, don't you think? So I'm going to go over a few 10 important facts about ADHD. First, general restlessness. I am very sure you are restless. Something is uncomfortable in what is going on in our world, right? Something is restless. And the second one is someone in the family has it. I am sure someone in the family is restless. Someone in the world is restless. Look at the world we have created. Don't you think we will be restless in it? Okay. Three, trouble settling down. Hmm. Yeah. If we're living in dysfunctional societies, like really dysfunctional societies, don't you think that you will have trouble settling down in that type of mud? It usually would be pretty difficult. And then the fourth one, which doesn't make sense, is you're a smoker. So as a kid, you cannot be smoker, but you probably are living with some people that smoke. But you know what? Rest easy. Even if you didn't smoke, you have tons of chemtrails. They will do the same thing. Five, a focus on yourself. Self-worship. Self. Difficulty understanding the needs of others. That's really important. And you don't care about others altogether. I wonder if that is somehow injected through the media and the brainwash system and the entire collective of mentality on earth, to be self-absorbed and don't care about anything else around you. As long as you're self-absorbed, you're very much under control, don't you think? Okay. The sixth one is not seeing things through. That means the general lack of focus, lose interest before finishing a project. So if a project is really uninteresting, aren't you supposed to lose interest in it? Are a lot of population of the world are supposed to be interested in the same thing, like in the same fake sciences, in the same fake stages, in the stages set up by Hollywood, and what is important and what not is important? Are we supposed to stay interested in all that? And if we don't, there's a lot of drugs available. So you stay positive, conditioned, and controlled. Okay. The seventh one is very interesting. Constant daydreaming. Constant daydreaming. That should be stopped. A 3-year-old cannot daydream. An adult cannot daydream. We need to work through all the functions of the society so it can trickle up. So all the wealth can trickle up to the few on top. So what are we doing? Daydreaming? Children? Adults? You adult children? You cannot daydream. Do you think a slave would daydream from morning until night? Under any conditions about its freedom? Something for all of us to think about. Now, always looking for a trail, how do you say that? Trail. That like a risky business. Children wanting to take risks at a young age because they have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Okay, and for adults, they do all kinds of weird things, like they drive very fast, they take drugs, or they start cheating on their partners. They forgot, I think, to say, oh, they get hooked on porno and they forget who they are. They forget that they have a heart or a brain. They just become a lower body consciousness. And that is an epidemic all over this world. Okay. 9, always losing things. Well, if you lived in a world that the material attachment became unimportant to you, do you want to hold on to things that are not really important? I mean, you may think that consciously you're attached to them, but unconsciously you hate all these things that you're attached to, because this is not the real world we're living in. This is a completely made up, psychopathic dream world that we're living in, and we don't even know about. Our own reality is even really hidden from us. So we start losing things in it, as an epidemic. 10, have a bad temper. Slaves are not supposed to have bad temper. Only the owners are supposed to have bad temper. They can drop tons of bombs. They can do all the harm. That's not bad temper. That's just social order. But if you have a bad temper, it's a no-no. That a slave cannot have a bad temper. Okay, now let's be more real. 11% of all the children from the ages of 3 to 17 have ADHD diagnosed in the United States right now. That makes them 6.4 million children. I mean, that is not a joke, right? And that was as of 2011. Just imagine how much more it has increased right now. And it is increasing by 5% every year. And the cost of this illness to the American taxpayers is $52 billion in 2005. Just go figure, with 5% increase every year, how much that would be right now. So the amazing, amazing, beloved, worshipped drug industries and medical industries, how much money they're making on keeping the slave mentality in check. Well behaved, controlled. Okay, boys get it a lot more. Yeah, you see, boys are not supposed to carry on a functional masculinity. Functional masculinity, of course, they get it a lot more. Of course, girls get it tons also. And each individual cost is $14,576 per year to just treat this disorder. Does that make sense? Who is really profiting from all this? And then it is 4.25 billion per year total. So the coexisting conditions are learning disabilities, of course. You do not want to learn what is shoved down your throat by the standard education. What is a standard education, and who is there standardized your education? It is coming from a group that would like you to behave in a specific way, or education could not be standardized. I'm sorry, my English is not very good today. Okay, contact disorders, difficulties, antisocial behavior, fighting, oppositional defiant disorder, anxiety disorder, depression, bipolar disorder, and bedwetting and sleep disorders. Okay, so that's not just in the Western world, it's going all over the world. because the one world order is taking over the whole world. So, of course, the education, science, or whatever we think that is so advanced in our modern societies is under the control of the few and under the control of the ones that who think that the way they're educating the public is the way to keep them organized and keep them working for the few upstairs. If we want to come out of the attention deficit hyperactive disorder, we need to realize that we have given our authorities to our systems, to our governing principles that we all have created together and participated into its creation. So it is time for us to untangle ourselves from those type of patterns and behaviors internally, teach our children, don't force them to go to the standard schools and standard education, and start shifting into more free education all over the world and allow humanity to be the sovereign humanity that we are supposed to be. Each one of us can learn differently. Each one of us have to be free to choose our learning in whatever way it is. Not going to school or going to school should not be a mark of social advancement or not. Okay? It is time for humanity to shift at a very, very fundamental level. We are not here to play this game anymore. This game is destroying our lives, is destroying humanity by millions. By millions. It will stop right here with me. Let's take on our own authority, our own connection to the creative force, to God, to creator of all that is, to the earth, to nature, to the powers of existence. Once we do that, we would not subject our children to these rules. We would not. It's a different time. We have to wake up. And I'm sorry for the ones that don't want to hear that and don't like to hear it, and you may ridicule and call me a lunatic. Earth is flat, not a planet. Let's deal with it.